Following the E3 2019 reveal of the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the stream of information regarding the game has been close to none since Eiji Aonuma concluded his E3 interviews and returned to continue work on the game in Kyoto. From these few comments regarding the game, we learned about the desire to reuse the overworld of Hyrule from Breath of the Wild, that the game started as DLC Pack 3 for the original game, but quickly grew beyond the realms of an expansion. Hence, a darker sequel featuring Link, a freshly cropped Zelda, and a mummified Ganondorf turned into a reality. Other than that, we don't know much more than that the game is under development and that it will likely explore the forgotten history of Hyrule. Recently, however, a few British and French publications claim that more information has leaked or at least been rumoured, and you all know our opinion on rumours long ahead of release, but some of these seem to be rather interesting, so we decided to comment on some of them.
Obviously, most of these claims coming from etc. are nothing but baseless wishful thinking and predictions that claim to be more than what they are. Nonetheless, some of them could turn Breath of the Wild 2 into a better sequel than the original. So as always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with that notification bell, and let's get right into the 8 rumours that surface in this alleged leak. Rumour number 1. As a result of the cataclysmic event teased in the Breath of the Wild 2 reveal, the world of Hyrule will be hugely altered. Parts of the world will be in the sky, which has left huge craters scattered around the game world/overworld. Some of these are filled with water and emphasizes navigation. First and foremost, this rumor sounds incredible. A new experience with a whole new altered unexplored land and sea area. Sounds too good to be true. But it may actually be a very solid solution to address the issue of reusing exactly the same terrain and locations found in Breath of the Wild. One reason I can see this rumor as plausible is that it only alters what is already there and doesn't require brand new areas beyond the borders of Hyrule.
Hence, it saves development time as the physics engine only needs to be adjusted to these areas, which might hide new secrets like, for example, dungeons. The more we think of this rumor, the more we like it, as it seems to be the perfect move to reinvent the land and give us at least partially a new Hyrule to explore. When we think about it, it is actually quite the update, as with Breath of the Wild we only had a few brand new areas that had never been seen before in the Zelda game. These were Akala, Necluda, and even though we have had Faron multiple times in the past, it was never as tropical or full of zonai structures as it was in Breath of the Wild, and it's certain that these areas will be explored deeper in Breath of the Wild too. Overall, this first rumor would fit the game perfectly, as it adds something new to explore with less effort required than starting with a new province from scratch. On to Rumor 2. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 features at least 2 different cities that have a much higher population density than those seen in the original. If this is true, then I love you, Nintendo. There's only one problem with this rumor. Urban towns or cities require a ton of work, with numerous buildings, interiors, NPCs, side quests, you name it. It is a massive undertaking, which might be too tall of an order for the sequel. Then again, a direct sequel can't only reuse. It needs to add and expand and offer new features and locations not found in the original. One of the things missing was bigger towns, as Hyrule Castle Town was in ruins, and the closest we got to a replacement, with squares, streets and walls, was Gerudo Town.
Though our biggest issue with this rumor is, where would these cities be located? In Hyrule after a long time skip, or maybe in brand new 2 no provinces? The first one would have made sense if Ganondorf wasn't in Hyrule's way, which leaves us with new provinces. Unless one of the cities could be, as we described in our past video, an underground city that was unaffected by the calamity, then the other could be outside of Hyrule or maybe also underground. I do not deny the probability of this rumor, especially with the possibility of underground cities being a thing, but I will not believe in their existence until we, actually see them. Rumor number 3. Nintendo allegedly had planned to reveal more Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 at the Game Awards 2019 as had been anticipated, but this announcement was reportedly pushed back following the Pokemon controversies to avoid comparisons with the 2 games' wild areas. Now, we all know that the controversy surrounding Pokemon Sword and Shield was substantial, especially in the graphics department, as Breath of the Wild was miles ahead there. Still, I feel like this particular rumor doesn't really make sense, as Pokemon Sword and Shield had been out for nearly a month when the Game Awards took place. More so since Nintendo clearly decided to simply save reveals that could have fit in this event for the next decade. As in January, we got a Pokemon Direct with the reveal of Pokemon Sword and Shield expansions and the reveal of the DLC Pack 5 of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter Pass 1. Zelda, on the other hand, more likely wasn't at the Game Awards in 2019 because of the development of the game and the fact it looks more and more possible that the game could instead show up during the 2020 Game Awards instead, which goes against the following rumor. Rumor number 4. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 will have a release date of winter 2020. Okay, let us put this one straight. The release dates of Zelda games are non-consistent and delays are frequent, but most of all, they depend on many factors. One would be such as not showing up at the Game Awards in 2019, no Nintendo Switch Pro, or any new Nintendo Switch models in the entirety of 2020.
Go watch the videos we have done on the release window for Breath of the Wild 2 and how it might connect to Switch Pro hardware or determine based on the first Nintendo Direct of the year if Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 was there or not. What else is there to add? I guess the 3D Zelda games rarely come out the year after they are first revealed, teased. Twilight Princess being revealed in 2004 and came out in 2006, Skyward Sword was teased in 2009 and came out in 2011, Breath of the Wild was revealed in 2014 and came out in 2017. We would love to see Breath of the Wild 2 break this cycle, but we're not too optimistic. Besides, none of us want the rushed Zelda experience, so 2021 seems more likely than the rumor 2020 at this point. Rumor 5. In Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Link will be able to summon beasts to fight alongside him. These rumors are indeed crazy unbelievable, but isn't that exactly what we want to see in the sequel to one of the most groundbreaking games in the last decade? Naturally, this rumor ties to Link's alleged new glowing courage green Zonai power, but through beasts? Isn't that a little too similar to summoning Wolf Link in Breath of the Wild with the amiibo from Twilight Princess HD? To be fair, we're not really sure about this rumor, or if we would even want to see it in Breath of the Wild 2. Maybe the next rumor will be better. Rumor 6. Climbing in Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 has allegedly been redesigned, meaning there is more of a focus on good timing and the balance of the characters the players have taken control of. I hope this also fixes the problem with slippery slopes, as making climbing even more difficult as it already was is, to put it mildly, completely unnecessary.
At the same time, timing and balance are natural to climbing, and the threat of falling besides running out of stamina was never really there in Breath of the Wild. Still, when it comes to gameplay changes, climbing needs one change: less rain. The key to exploring Hyrule in Breath of the Wild 1 and 2 should be mobility and simplistic but efficient climbing mechanics that defy some of the barriers found in most other open world games. Hence, I don't think this rumor has anything to do with reality, as some people didn't complain that it was too easy to climb, but rather that it was too hard most of the time due to rain. Everyone hated rain when climbing, and balancing the gameplay is a key to the sequel. Making climbing even more of a hassle would not benefit Breath of the Wild 2. Quite contrary, keep what works well and change what people complained about, such as divine beasts and the lack of dungeons, lack of enemy variety, and so on. Though climbing could have been redesigned if we are playing these sections as a different character, which brings us to rumor number 7. The second to last rumor, which states that in Breath of the Wild 2, Zelda will be playable in some sections, in the same way that Ciri was in The Witcher 3, but Link will be the main character playable for most of Breath of the Wild 2. This one has probably been up there since we saw Zelda's shorter hairstyle, and yes, there is a probability that the princess will be playable due to this rather visible change. The entire reveal trailer seems to include a lot of foreshadowing of things to come in the sequel, and one of the most obvious ones are Princess Zelda being playable in portions of the game.
The funny thing with this rumor is that it is nearly identical to our immediate idea following the reveal of the game. We even made a video about it, so go and check it out. Or actually, let's go over the last rumor of this list and then call it a day. Since the 8th and final rumor is that standalone DLC for Breath of the Wild 2 that is focused on Zelda is allegedly under discussion at Nintendo. How would anyone possibly even have information on topics that are being discussed internally within the Zelda team at Nintendo EPD and not even exist yet? No, I just feel this rumor makes no sense whatsoever, as there's no doubt that Nintendo is way too busy to even think of DLC at this point. Besides, this whole game started as a DLC pack, which was turned into a proper sequel. So, what this rumor really suggests is that it will have a DLC in what started as a DLC. You know what? I can't take these rumors anymore, and you shouldn't do the same. But you know what? I think I have solved a possible plot twist in Breath of the Wild 2, and even better, we are uploading a video on the topic this week. So make sure to leave a like on this video, subscribe to our channel, and press that shiny notification bell for all notifications to not miss that video, which is, by the way, a collab with Misclick Gaming, with less than 13,000 subscribers to go to 250,000, so make sure to subscribe. Finally, a big thanks as always goes to our patrons on patreon.com/commonrun. Consider pledging there to support our productions or by pressing the join button here on YouTube. Until the next video or a Nintendo Direct, this was Commonwealth Realm, and also make sure to check out these two awesome videos.